All praises to Yahweh, Baal Shem Shai, Baal Shem Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the elect pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, with the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Baal Shem Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the charagma written about in Revelation 13, verse 16 on down, which is the MOTB. The miracle drug is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly call Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So right now, we're in some serious times in which the scriptures have said we're supposed to redeem the times because the days are evil. And one of the great signs of the evil to come is the food shortage, isn't it? The high rate of job loss, because without a job, you won't have any money. And without money, you won't be able to afford food. But all these things are engineered by the global elites because their plan is to create a universal global income in which if your food is, if all you eat is dependent on the government or the state, you're going to be at their mercy. Meaning that any policies, anything they decide to do, if you're against it, you won't be able to be fed. Hence, the MOTB. You won't be able to buy or sell, save either at the mark. So, I'm going to bring forth this precept and go into two clips that I see, and that's the reason why I'm even going to do this video, because the two clips, I'm going to click the first thing you hear them bring out is what? The mass job losses, Isn't it? The mass layoff. So this is Haggai 1, verse 5. Now therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. And the Lord is talking to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And one might say, what do you mean the Lord talk to the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans? So I'm just going to get this from the scriptures and go back to that precept. This is Amos 3, verse 1. Hear this word that Yahweh hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. So that's very clear. That's why it is written in Isaiah 58 verse 1, so we're supposed to cry aloud, spare not, lift up our voice like a trumpet, and show the Lord's people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. And that's what we're doing, declaring these things to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, making you ready for the battle to come. So this is verse 6 in Haggai 1. Ye have sown much and bring in little. And just look upon the jobs them what we do. We are the hardest workers, and we get the less pay. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. As you don't pay off your bill, you don't have nothing else, More time you don't even have money to stock up on groceries. Some people buy grocery daily, some people buy grocery weekly, some buy fortnightly, and some buy monthly, But we are in such a time in which it's going to be so hard to even find money to buy groceries, the high cost of living. But now, people can go into their supermarkets or them corner shops and buy goods all, and they feel like, hey man, nothing is wrong. in which inflation is going up. Every minute you go to the supermarket, you see me, or these grocery stores, and you order certain things, the money where you bring last month, you get less goods with the same money. But a lot of people now take these things into consideration, you know. So just imagine the times that is to come. And these are the times that's coming, you know. So I'm going to run this clip so you can understand what I'm saying.
Heard about was Yahoo. Hello and welcome to the Stansberry Investor Hour. I'm your host, Dan Ferris. I'm also the editor of Extreme Value and the Ferris Report, both published by Stansberry Research. And I'm Corey McLaughlin, editor of the Stansberry Daily Digest. Today, Dan interviews Keith Neumeyer, president and CEO of First Majestic Silver. And for today's rant, we'll talk about layoffs, more and more layoffs. And we'll also talk about the insanity that has become Bed Bath & Beyond. And remember, you can email us at feedback@investorhour.com and tell us what's on your mind. That and more right now on the Stansberry Investor Hour. Okay, so a couple of shows ago, we did talk about some of the data that we got off of layoffs, FYI. And it's basically just like a tech rout of layoffs. Just tens of thousands of people. I don't even know what the total is up to now, but at big companies, Meta, Google, Amazon, everybody just laying people off, Salesforce.com. And that's not done, is it? It's still moving. No, the latest one that I am looking at and just heard about was Yahoo, the old search engine giant from eons ago. But they're laid off 20% of their workforce, which is about 1,600 people, but still that 20% number gets you and kind of shows you, you know, the impact that companies are dealing with. Yeah, it does. Right now. You're probably not addicted to Twitter the way I am, but like recently, it's been.
As you can see, this video is over an hour, so I'm not planning to make you listen this video through, but just want to show you what's really taking place here. And don't believe it's just these tech giants alone. This is going to take place all around the world in every single sector of society. There's going to be mass job losses here. Listen to this.
The only way they're going to bring down inflation and restore price stability is to crash the economy. One of the senators asked Powell if he was willing to do whatever it takes, like Paul Volcker, to bring down inflation. Will you do whatever it takes? And Powell basically said, yes, we will do whatever it takes, which obviously is not the case, because if the Fed was willing to do whatever it takes, it would have already done it. There is no reason to have allowed inflation to get this bad. In fact, if the investors believed that Powell was going to do whatever it takes to bring down inflation, the stock market would have crashed. The bond market would have crashed. In fact, one of the questions that Powell got was how he was going to fight inflation without harming the economy or causing a recession. Now, the real answer would have been, I can't. If we're going to fight inflation, we're going to have a recession. There's just no way around it. We're going to have to raise interest rates substantially. We're going to have to cut down on the growth of the money supply. And the entire recovery that we had, the economy was built.
Hey.
On cheap money. So if we're going to take that cheap money away, which we need to do, then the entire economy that was built on top of it is going to come collapsing down. So no, we can't fight inflation without hurting the economy. Right? We had a horrible recession under Paul Volcker when interest rates went up. But what Powell told Congress was, hey, don't worry. I'm going to raise interest rates. We're going to shrink the balance sheet, but we're going to do it with care. We're going to be careful and make sure that nothing that we're doing harms the economy. Well, that is impossible. So the only way that Powell can raise interest rates with care and shrink the balance sheet with care without harming the economy is to immediately stop the rate hikes or maybe reverse them as soon as that harm is obvious. That's the only way to do it, because you can't do it with care. It is impossible. But nobody in Congress or nobody at the Federal Reserve wants to tell the truth. Yes, there is some medicine that we've got to swallow, but it tastes bad. They all want to pretend that, oh, it's going to taste great. Yes, we're going to get rid of inflation, but don't worry, this medicine is delicious. It's not. And the only way we're not going to taste this bitter medicine is if we don't swallow it. And that's basically what Powell was saying. In fact, Powell's assurance that when it comes to raising interest rate and shrinking the balance sheet, that the Fed will exercise care to make sure that neither of those policies hurts the economy, that is completely inconsistent with his pledge to do whatever it takes to fight inflation, that he's willing to do it Paul Volcker style, because those two statements are mutually exclusive. Because if you are committed to doing whatever it takes to fight inflation, then you can't exercise care not to hurt the economy, because doing whatever it takes means you're willing to hurt the economy. You're willing to crash the financial markets if that's what's required to fight inflation.
But when them crash the economy, where you feel it's going to be the next step? Where you feel all the banks around the world, the central banks, might I add, is making mention of CBDC. That's where everything is going, And these things, as I have said, is planned and orchestrated by the global elites. So I have another clip that I want you to see.
I mean, naturally. With massive layoffs in nearly every sector, weakness in manufacturing, car sales, and housing, and the biggest one-month decline in the trade deficit since the financial crisis, the economic picture is not looking good, which might explain why so many billionaires are loading up on gold, including hedge fund manager John Paulson and real estate mogul Sam Zell. Bottom line, now is the time to own gold, which is why the experts at Stansberry Research just stepped forward with a major gold prediction, arguing gold could soar as high as $3,000 by the end of the year, possibly even higher. You can find out why and get instant access to their #1 gold investment today. It's not bullion, an ETF, or a mining stock, but in the past, this gold strategy could have made you nearly 50x your money. Considering how quickly the price of gold has been moving in recent weeks, you don't want to waste any time missing out on the gains these experts believe are in store for this gold stock. To get a copy of his new free report with all the details, simply go to goldmaniareport.com. Again, that's Goldmania Report.
So, I'm going to do this for a particular reason, because people believe that gold and silver can deliver them from the times to come. And that's just an illusion, a lie that you tell yourself. That might help you for a while, and just for a while. Because the scripture is very clear. You cannot buy nor sell if you don't have this mark. It never tells you if you have gold, you might can do trading. If you hold on to that asset, you might be safe. This is where the scripture have said. Let me get to this. So I want to say Zephaniah 1 verse 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. And that main land where the Lord is talking about is the land of America right now, It's going to be mass destruction on scales the world have never seen before, Because right now what's going on over there, I've been prophesied right through the scriptures. This is Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1. It's to remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the ears draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Jump into the point, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, yo. When them just them name Stansberry Research. So when them watch out, what them watch yo? The economy. You see me? And the flow of trade and the stock market. You know? Watching jobs and job losses. And what's their conclusion when them come to yo? It's not looking good, yo. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. Talking about the lack of jobs. Because right now, even in the company where me I work, yo, you have, call it say, 2 somebody out of 7 upon the team lose them job over there. And 1 more likely for lose them job soon. And it will get even worse as the times progresses, yo. But people now take these things into consideration, what's really going on upon the earth. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. What that represent, yo? No hope. You see me? No hope. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. So just think about it, yo. Lack of jobs. And not just a lack of jobs. Before the lack of jobs, the money we have couldn't bring us afar. But not only that, the food we desire is not going to be on the shelves, yo. Because the food shortage is here. The scripture mention said the sown place, not offer. Let me get to that scripture. Not just quoting it. This is 2 Corinthians 6, verse 22. It read, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And what's that sound the trumpet that gonna make, yo? Famine is in the land, yo. There's no bread. People is gonna tremble. People is gonna fret. People is gonna wail. These are the times that we are coming upon. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. A lot of people hear these precepts, but them not consider the state where the earth are going to be in. It is written in 2 Corinthians 8, verse 50. Let me get to that and close. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And so that was a perfect example of that, yo. The prophets was before you, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans blowing the trumpet, yo. But you were not afraid. So the Lord are going to bring evil upon this city, yo. And the Lord declared that him are the one that's going to do these things. And these are the times that we're in, yo. So hope this is edifying. With that I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahawashi, Ba'asham Rakah Quadash. Shalom.